Hi, I'm Rebecca J. Venton. Welcome to my Knit and Crochet channel. This is a hat that with the yarn that I used to demonstrate how to make this pattern. Now I didn't have on hand the what is that? This roll with it tweed, but it is a medium 4. So, and that's right on the sleeve that you'll see. So I used another red heart, which is orchid, and it works just fine. It'll keep the pattern stitches the way it's supposed to be. So if you don't happen to have or can't get a hold of the yarn that's in the pattern, which will be in the description down below that I'll give you a link to, then feel free to use any one that has the medium number 4 on the sleeve. Alright, let's get started. Okay, to start the hat, you're going to have to make a foundation row. And a foundation row is basically just a chain stitch. That's it. Alright, so I'm going to make the slip knot that always starts the chain. Now I'm not going to make the whole hat. What I'm going to do is show you a very small sample of how to do it, and you'll get the idea and be able to follow my pattern that I designed quite easily after that. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, 10, 11, 12. Alright. Now this is going to be the beginning of row 1. Of course, you're going to be doing either 54 or 60 chains, but we don't need to do all that. Okay, so first off, row 1, you want to double crochet in the 3rd chain from hook and in each one across. So that's 1 is right here, 2, and there's 3. All right, so that makes, oops. Okay, this is double crochet. I'll do it slow in case you need to see it. Now I also made a video of how to double crochet in case you need to learn it or just to refresh your memory of how to do it, because sometimes if you haven't done something in a while you forget, especially with all the stitches out there, and sometimes you just find out maybe you're not doing it the correct way. Okay, and that's a bummer. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's get to the end. Now the first row that I'm doing is actually gonna, let me finish this last stitch. Okay, this end is actually going to be part of the fringe of the hat, and I'll show you how. Okay, row 2 says, I wrote, let's see, chain 2. Now remember, this one is just for the height of the double crochet, it has nothing to do with an actual stitch. And I also put in my directions that this does not count as a first double crochet now and throughout. Okay, wrap around, go in. Now my pattern calls for 33 or 39 depending on the size, but I'm only going to do a smaller amount. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, just so you can get the idea. Now let's work on the fringe again. Let me see how many I did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and I want 2 for height. 6, 7, 8. Okay, so 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And in my pattern, it would call for a different number, which would be 21 for both sides of the hat. Okay, so I'm going to go into the 2nd chain. I'm sorry, go into the 3rd chain from hook. Okay, and that is my first double crochet, and the chain 2 is the height. So I can do a double crochet without being crunched. Okay, now I'm going to go in double crochet in each chain that I had just made. Okay, let me get some more. Okay, oops. Now, it's always best to do a 4x4 piece swatch, just so you can understand how big or small your gauge is going to be, because there's, okay, here's the last one, because it does really matter, because your hat will be either too big or too small, and you got to know, everybody does it, you know, their tightness, their tension, either lighter or tighter, and it will make your stitches either taller or shorter, and also make the width different too. So I recommend it highly. Okay, working on the remainder of the row that you're working on, your last row, that is. Double crochet into those stitches until you get to the end. And of course, here is the final double crochet, as you can see. And as always, that chain 2 was just for height, so ignore that. Okay, here we go. Chain 2, turn. Okay, we're just going to work up, double crochet up until the fringe. And mine was 4 that I was working on. Okay, and then you're going to chain the 21 that's in my pattern, but of course I'm only going to chain 8. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to turn. I'm going to double crochet into the third. Here's 1, 2, 3. Into the third chain from hook. And in each one, across. Okay. Almost there. And I'll show you in a second how to put it together. And in the last one on the chain, all right, now double crochet in the remaining stitches, the double crochet stitches, as you normally would in double crochet. All right, and seeing that oops, now I have to fix that. Okay, I accidentally went through in between the stitches. I want to make sure I go through the top of the last double crochet. All right, now I'm going to chain 2 because we started with the fringe row. I want to end with the non-fringe row. So let's get that back in here. I did my chain 2. I turned, and then I'm going to do my 4. Of course, you'll do whatever the pattern calls for. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so, and then I'm going to do a slip stitch just to lock it in. Now my pattern calls for, you want the tail, which is the end here, to be 30 inches. You'll be able to seam up the hat closed with it. But seeing that I don't need to have that bigger one, I'm going to show you. There you go, pull that through. That locks it in. All right, get take my yarn needle. They're either metal or plastic. It's just something that doesn't have a sharp point, so it can go through the material without catching it. Okay, now if you notice, the fringe will curl. So you have to decide, it's your preference, if you, and this is the sides, and this is the bottom, where the bottom of the hat. So you're going to decide, do you want the fringe curling out, or do you want the fringe curling in, which I find actually makes the hat more crunchy or bunchy. This, but you'll be able to tell. Okay, so just whip stitch the bottom closed. Okay, I'm just doing it fast, so I'm sure you'll do a neater job than what I'm doing. Okay, and then you're going to weave in the ends of that, and of course the little cuff, will work like that. Okay, now for the top, you're going to get another piece. My pattern calls for a 30-inch piece, so you have a lot to work with, but I don't need that big a one. So what you're going to do now is the last double crochet up here, just go in and come through where you're starting the fringe. Okay, next one, go in. Whoops. Alright, that happens sometimes. No biggie. Okay, and then I go in, and then, okay. Alright, I went all the way around. Now, I'm just going to knot it and pull tight. And that, and then, knot it, weave in the ends, and your hat will be done. And here's all the fringe that I did. And as you can see, makes pretty good. And then the cuff, fold it up. Alright, hope you enjoyed the lesson, and see you next time.